So what made you decide that it was time to remodel your kitchen?
That's an excellent question. When did we know it was time? We knew it was time probably 10 years prior.
Oh, sure.
But, you know, just didn't necessarily have all the finances that we wanted in order to do it properly. So we bought the house in 92,
Okay.
right? And we ended up doing the remodel in late 2024-25.
I'm Mary Regan, kitchen designer at Wayside Kitchens. You can find me helping clients take their dated old kitchens and transform them into beautiful new kitchens that they love because they fit their homes and lifestyle much better. If you're ready to start your kitchen remodeling journey or just enjoy watching home transformations, you are at the right place. Come join me.
We had wanted to do it before that, but there was, you know, we had the kids and we're getting them through all their stuff. And so we wanted to save enough money to be able to do the kitchen. If we had done the kitchen earlier, let's say early to mid 2000s, we probably would not have done what we did here. And so we would have ended up with something that was updated from 1992 kitchen, but in the same footprint. In that span of 32 years, a lot of people would have done the kitchen over twice. We've already done it once and put the money into that. Are we then going to go do, you know, a bigger expansion or not? Laura had all sorts of different ideas on what she wanted to do before we had the wall there. Everything was completely closed off. It's also a matter of, you know, it's going to be a big project and a big thing, so you have to be mentally prepared for it as well. Yeah, it's the whole process of starting. Sometimes it's easier just to stay as is, status quo. And that probably happened for a couple of years until we just kind of looked at it and said, okay, it's time. Let's do it. Let's start the process.
What made you decide to go with us?
I had references that were well-known references from, you know, homes around here. One of my cycling buddies already had a kitchen that he loved. And then we just, you know, we wanted to get started. I will say, when we drove up to your place, the shop in Littleton, they ready for quotes. Laura and I had running bets on what the price was going to be, and it exceeded both of them. So we went home and we talked about it and what do we want to do. We ran the gamut from let's just leave the kitchen as is, trying to lower the price a bit. By not knocking out the wall, not doing some of these other things, maybe not going with this fantastic huge window, which we love. And it was a really interesting discussion because I said, well, keep the kitchen as is. Is that really what you want to do? No. Okay, well, let's not do that. You really don't want to knock down that wall. No, I really want to do that. So it was like you went through this whole list of things. You're going to spend a lot of money. Are you going to spend a lot of money and not get the kitchen you want? Or are you just going to say, okay, it's more than I expected, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to, you know, go back 2 years later, 3 years later, and kick myself and say, if only we had done this, right? I call it transformational. It is totally, because it wasn't just the kitchen, right? Because we opened that opening into the living room. The floors in the living room were redone. The hearth was, fireplace surround was replaced.
Yes.
The powder room was redone. I say it's like having a brand new house on the first floor. It's just completely, we walk in and it's just such a place of happiness and relaxation.
What's your favorite part of the kitchen?
I always wanted an island, and with the peninsula there, we couldn't really fit, you know, it was a fairly open space, but not big enough to have any sort of island. So by getting rid of that, and I was concerned about that wall because I thought, oh, there's probably electrical that's running. I didn't know if it was a load-bearing wall or not. We know that there's a baseboard heater, so I don't know how possible that, you know, it was. It was hysterical when, I mean, the demo was done in one day, and then Mark came in and moved all the plumbing in another day. At the same time, we won't have any kind of dining room, any formal dining room, so we have plenty of space to do that. That kind of opened this up, you know, for to have an island. It was just this closed off space that it was almost, honestly, it was like dead space in the house. The opening to that was like regular doorway size opening, so tiny, and just big wall there. So none of the light from the bay windows came in this way. None of the light from the slider went into that room.
No, it
And
was
now
just
it's just
small.
all one continuous where the light just streams in.
And now you have the 2 islands with the eating area, which
With the eating
is
area.
like, I think it's beautiful. And that was Laura's wish. We
It
went
was
through
her
a lot.
wish. Well, and it was kind of funny because Kevin, the cabinet guy, right, had said in 35 years he'd never seen anything like it. And I will say, this was really interesting. The guy who came for the final inspection came in and he homed in on that right away. And he said, that's the second one I've seen this week.
This
He
week,
said,
oh,
I've
oh,
never
it's
seen them before, but that's the second one I've seen this week. He said the other one was raised up above the
Above, yeah.
counter, the
Gotcha,
island. Right,
gotcha.
right.
Where this one sinks lower, which is more comfortable, which is what
Exactly.
Laura wanted. So about how do you feel the design process went?
What I thought was great about it was there was a lot of back and forth. It was a distinct learning thing for me, just coming from such an old kitchen
Okay.
and learning about the new designs and what could be done, not only what was possible, but at the same time, what was more modern and current. I don't want to say trendy because it's not really, we
It's not
weren't looking
trendy,
for a
yeah. There's
trendy
nothing
kitchen.
trendy.
That's what we wanted, was something that was more timeless. And I think you did a really good job helping us with that. Oh, the microwave drawer, the thing I didn't know about until now. And that was the other thing that I really like about this is the layout change, where we had the stove and oven over there before, where the refrigerator is, which kind of put you over here when you're cooking, right? You're kind of over here in this corner just staring at a blank wall.
Yeah.
And now over here, it's much more open,
Oh, yeah.
right? And not only that, you can, peek out this window here. You're not, just staring into the void. But above that stove was the microwave oven that we had, just regular one, had for probably 20 something years. We were going through the design process. You were talking about this hood, the hood vent, and that sort of sparked in my mind, well, we have a microwave above that now, so what do you do about that? I distinctly remember you said, oh, Kevin, we don't do that anymore. I said, well, if you don't, what do you do? And you said that you have a microwave drawer, and I was dumbfounded because I had no idea what that was. I was like, microwave drawer, what is that? I use it every day. It's almost completely hidden.
Yeah.
And that's the
That's the
beautiful
beauty.
part of it.
Show me some of the things that this kitchen has that is making your life easier.
We don't have gas. We had to have electric. We had the same stove for 32 years. I want a new technology. I want something better than what you could get like 50 years ago.
Sure.
And so I knew induction was, newer. It's not, all that new, but
I
newer,
know,
big
I
thing.
know.
And there's a little bit of a learning curve. What we had to do with the old one, because it was so inefficient, was you crank the heat up to high on any of the burners and then back off of that
Oh,
when it heats up. And this, you just set it right to the temperature that you want. Within 1 minute, it's ready to go. I would say within a week, you're absolutely used to it. So we never had a real pantry before, and Laura organized this great with the rollout drawers. I think the rollout drawers are absolutely fantastic because when you come home and you put stuff from the grocery store and you put stuff in the back, you can actually access it later
And see it.
you
See
can
what
see
you
it and get to it. Because we didn't have that before. We had some stuff in the hallway closet that we were using as a pantry. We had some stuff, just put in different cabinets, or drawers or whatever. And so this is really nice to have this. In fact, Laura she's going to get another drawer in here, roll-out drawer, and make it even a little bit more compact and be able to fit more stuff in here. Plenty of depth and obviously huge amount of volume, to be able to put stuff back in there. We had glass cabinets before and she loved them and she wanted to keep that. In fact, she would have, made everything glass if possible.
That looks good. Now I'm getting hungry.
I know we talked about this during the design process. What do you do with the corner? Because the corner is an awkward space.
Yeah.
And before we had this odd sort of angled
like
cabinet,
an angled cabinet,
right?
yeah.
Which you opened up and you just putting stuff, mugs and cups and stuff back there.
Sure.
And you'd never, half of them you would never retrieve again,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So nice having the corner cabinet here that is much more accessible. And then the other thing that was nice was having such a nice kitchen and then not wanting to have appliances all over the place is the appliance garage, which nice and neatly tucks that stuff away when you're not using it. And the fact that you don't have to pull it out all the way to plug it
have
in,
the outlet,
right? You
yeah.
still have the outlet back there. It's a small thing, but it's one of these that you just end up
Love
really loving. We had one of these cabinets like this. It was not a Lazy Susan, it was just fixed.
Oh, okay.
And so it was always hard to access stuff that was not just right in the front. So you'd end up like getting down on your hands and knees and, you know, like halfway crawling in there.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
having this, you know, where you can just open it up and ready access to everything there is
Yeah.
really just, you know, much more helpful. It's always hard. Corners are awkward. It just keeps going and going. There's tons of space in here. Oh, and we love the
The recycling.
well, yeah, I
trash.
mean, we only use it for trash because we end up with a lot of recycling, but
Sure.
it's especially having the double is fantastic. I still find myself, because in the old kitchen we had it on a slider, but
the sink.
under the sink. So I still find myself going to go under the sink to like, well, that's not
Pull out pantry right next to the stove, which I'm sure is very convenient.
very convenient, yes. You know, nice accessibility from both sides. So if you're doing prep over here, you need something,
Oh,
you know,
that's
it's
awesome.
readily accessible. And then if you're at the stove and you need some spice or you need some olive oil or something,
What was your experience with the crew?
I got to know each one of them on it because some of them were here, like Tim, for example, was here for months. We were on a first name basis, and he would text me and say, you know, if I was working up above the garage, he said, got something I need to show you, right? So,
Sure.
and then tried to get to know each of them, from the tile people to the painters to, you know, even the flooring people. Everyone was really, really happy with all of them. What I felt like was just having a little bit of that personal touch with them. If there was something I needed to point out, like,
Sure.
you know, I feel
There's
like this,
always that.
something, you know, here, or, yep, this is, you know, kind of having Havanas, for example, right? He was a great guy. When he would come in and check on things, and I would say, hey, I need you to come take a look over here. We're going to make a decision on how this is going to be done. I really enjoyed the process of getting to know them and talking with them, even if it's just, you know, saying hello to the painters in the morning. How you doing?
Yeah,
right?
sure,
Would you like a
sure.
cup of coffee?
Yeah,
That kind of stuff, right?
You guys have been great.
It really helped for any type of conversation that, you know, I needed to have with them.
What would you say to someone who's thinking about doing their kitchen, but they're like not sure if they should jump and do the kitchen?
I would say, don't hesitate.
There's a place I have found in the shade on the ground, far from all worries and troubling sound. When I go there to be by myself, only need, no one can guess what I came there to see. There's a sun in the sky, there's a cloud drifting by. All kinds of birds make you wish you could fly. And in the distance I see someone waving at me. I hope